Drop your honest opinion on the Legends Festival 2025 Part 1. I will potentially use it for an upcoming video. With the Part 1 underway and we're heading into the Part 2, so you know the reveal is on the 9th of December at 2 PM UTC, which I will be reacting to. There are a lot of mixed opinions, let's say, about the festival currently and the overall state of Dragon Ball Legends. So I wanted to see what you guys think, as I've given my thoughts a lot on stream and in videos, but it's not my opinion that is above all. Everybody's entitled to their own, so let's see what you guys are saying. Also, feel free to leave your own comment below about what you think about the festival 2025, and follow me on Twitter. You can get involved in the future if I do put out a tweet. Turn on post notifications there too. Let's get into this. So we're gonna start here with NA. It's the bare minimum, but Legends has made people's expectations so high that most of the things they do now seem underwhelming, to the point where dropping a Gogeta is unsatisfactory for some fans. Can't really blame the community for feeling like this though. Bad management. This is mostly my opinion. Like, if anything, it's everything about my opinion. My opinion is literally this: Dragon Ball Legends is such a good game that our expectations for it are so high, and if they pull back and make things unfair, which they have been doing a lot, so it doesn't negate the bad that they've been doing, but when they do things that are less up from the expectations they've already set, it just throws the game into a disarray. There's no other game on the App Store like Dragon Ball Legends, and because of that, we all play the game. Some people are leaving because it's overwhelming based on the gacha system, but beyond from that, honestly, our expectations are absurdly high. I can't imagine general Dragon Ball fans seeing a Gogeta and feeling, nah, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Only in the Legends community does that happen. I think that's wild. But hey, mostly I agree with this. I'm not going to really put out agreeables, disagreeables, but I'll give my opinion and how I can bounce off what you guys are saying, because I feel like everybody's points are mostly valid unless you just say something objectively wrong, then I'll point that out. But yeah, here is what I agree with. This one I agree with 100%, but yeah, just wanted to voice that because it's basically my opinion. Got one here from AKJ. Really solid. Haven't really brought something new to the table, but the diverse meta makes it feel fresh. Haven't played PvP this much in a while. Also new summon animation. That is true, to be honest. The PvP meta, given you have characters, it's actually very diverse. So you've got powerful opponents you can run slightly universe rep, you can run fusion warriors, you can run Saiyans, you can run Son family. What else we got here? You can run Namek Saga. There's actually a lot if we actually process it, so good job to them making the meta really diverse. I haven't played PvP this much either in a while, so that's something I can back as well. And the summon animation, peak of the celebration, honestly, let's be real. There's summon animation, Super Gogeta versus Jiren. I know most of us haven't seen it. I haven't seen it like in game. I've seen it obviously on the internet. It's outstanding. Props to them for making that a thing. Diamond Requiem says, mediocre. This isn't a quote-unquote festival of anything but developer incompetence, a display of how out of touch they are with the community, and show of greed. No Zenkais, no new events, little CC to farm. This is just a monthly celebration with the Fest logo and hyper characters. Now, I'm just going to point out things that are objectively wrong. So the no Zenkais isn't wrong. That's right. No new events. You could say that's wrong, but mostly it's not. They haven't done anything new. There obviously is new events, but they're not innovative, as in something we haven't seen before. That's something that should be differentiated, because that new can be interpreted as like, oh, they didn't bring anything out, but they did. It's just that they aren't different from anything we've had in a different year. And the little CC to farm, as much as it feels that way, they're actually giving a lot. But what I always like to point out is, if they're giving 20k CC, that's not enough for 2 units. They're releasing more while giving the same or slightly more CC, which they should be expanding on exponentially if they want us to be able to get the characters, since they're dropping more. But they obviously don't want us to get the characters. So yeah, this is just a monthly celebration with the Fest logo. I see people say it's a glorified campaign, glorified movies campaign. I actually don't think that's ridiculous. It's simply just the fact that they actually do give out more CC and the way they actually reveal everything, you know? This isn't really off. Mediocre isn't something I disagree with, honestly. I just think it's better than what we were dealing with pre-anniversary outside of the manga characters. So yeah, I'm not actually disagreeing with this personally. I don't think most of what you said is wrong, but obviously I just like specified, so I hope that's clear, and I'm pretty sure what I said is what you mean. Got one from 9Glow here. In a vacuum, it's not a bad celebration. The issue is that there's so many quality of life issues issues with how the community has been treated the past few years regarding metas, releases, etc., that we needed a celebration that shows the devs actually care about the community. This celebration, more than anything else, felt like a monthly campaign cash grab. Again, glorified Saga from the Movies campaign with the festival smack bang as the logo. There's a lot of quality of life issues. The game's still lagging, there's still cheaters and things like that. The community have been voicing so many complaints. For example, let's just start with the supporters, right? The supporters system, nobody wanted this. Guess we're kind of just dealing with it now, and they're kind of doing a bit better with moving in the free-to-play direction, releasing that crappy scouter, but then they're even taking a step back because of the rare medal issue. And on top of that, right, that scouter is buns, right? It's just trash. But even then, it's them creating a problem for them to then fix it so they can be rewarded for it, but they shouldn't be rewarded for creating the issue in the first place, you know? Fixing an issue they created, you shouldn't be rewarded for that. So yeah, I can kind of get behind this, honestly. They do need to actually listen to the community a lot more. I'm waiting for a survey. I hope they actually take us in with a survey that they put out, because this Super 7th year was not super for the most part. Only Android 6. Not gonna lie, celebration been trash. There's nothing to do besides PvP, like nothing. Let me actually process this. What is there to do in Dragon Ball Legends right now? They did update Tournament Power, so you can learn that, but I think it's really only beneficial now if you have the new units or the boost units. If you don't, you're gonna fall behind. And even TOP is not really super engaging. What else did they have? They have the guild battles, which suck, so let's just put that to the side. They have the events, but we don't really tune into them with the idea that we're having fun. Most of us just play it for the CC. They're not really innovating the events we have, so I guess you could say there's nothing to do there. Raid, I'll give them the raid, but like, we're playing it for the resources, not really because it's enjoyable, you know? So yeah, is there anything else? Story didn't really update, so nothing's peaking there either. So it really is just PvP, honestly. I wouldn't go as far as calling it trash, but it's not great. It's definitely not great, you know? It's enough. But yeah, there's not much to do. I actually just broke it down. I'm trying to think, is there something I missed? Or you could summon, then you get shafted. But yeah, that's about it. Animanga 1024 should have done fusing Super Gogeta and fusing VB for part 1, and UUI Goku should have dropped for the 8th Annie. He did not need that. Game was a bit enjoyable, but guess what happens from now on? And they should have Zenkai or Plat for Yellow Rose. Alright, there's a lot to unpack here, right? There's not really an opinion, but more so like what they should have done it's what they should have done instead. So I guess it's an opinion on the fact that you don't like what they dropped because you want them to do other things. Cool. Fusing Super Gogeta, okay, they did that, green tick, right? Fusing VB, we just got VB last year. You want VB 2 festivals in a row? That's kind of crazy. To be honest, it's not that crazy. They dropped Beast Gohan basically 3 festivals in a row. basically it's not that crazy. I'm not gonna lie, now they process it. But anyways, we dealt with worse for part 1. Cool. And UI Goku should drop for 8 Annie, so his Plat, or does he mean Ultra MUI Goku? I'm assuming he means the Plat. That's cool. Then that means I'm assuming he wants like UGB, but he didn't say. And Plat for Yellow Rose. Future right now has Future Gohan, so that wouldn't be useful. That would be counterproductive because then it makes the Zenkai irrelevant. So if you want to run Future, you should use, you know, Gohan. If you want to use Powerful Opponent, it would also put out Janemba, but I know you're saying they should have dropped that, so I have to assume it's in totality. Honestly, if they went the double fusions, it would be a shining bright celebration, but it would only bang if they went with new mechanics. I don't feel like the units alone are enough anymore. They've spanned Fusion Warriors so many times that just dropping Fusion Warriors, Vegito Blue and Gogeta isn't enough. It is like, wow, they did the 6th anniversary again, sure, but they still need to go over the top with the mechanics just like they did in the 6th Annie. So yeah, I don't actually disagree. Like I said, they've done worse. Not that I'm hoping for a fusing VB. I don't actually agree that they should have done this, but if they did, it would have been good because we've dealt with worse. And quote unquote worse, people still went, woo, this is hype. You know, everyone enjoys it. We're Dragon Ball fans at the end of the day. But like I said, it can't just be the new units. It has to be a mechanic on top. They have to go the extra mile. Ricochet here. Can I drop my opinion if I hoard too many rare medals? Don't know what the devs are doing, man. If you guys don't know what this is referencing, right? If you go to the DB Legends page, right? They made this silly tweet, and it's actually how they're going on with the game, and you can see the replies, right? Look. If you look at their tweets in general, like 11 here, 46 here, 1. Let's look at something more popular here. Even 171 when they're talking about this new event. Frieza and Goku, they're getting decent replies, right? But a tweet with no image is getting 479 replies, 1.4k likes, by the way. If you compare that 1.6k, like, come on, bro. They did something wrong if you're getting that many replies. That's how Twitter be working. Now let's look at this. Chrono Crystal shop changes. Because long-time players own more rare medals than newer players, they are able to level up supporters far more quickly. To account for this, the lineup for the event item category will be adjusted. Additionally, the number of lineup refreshes will be adjusted from a limited times to 2 times. Players considering leveling up Reddit Scouter supporter will, while the number of lineup refreshes is still unlimited, are encouraged to do so at their earliest convenience. Basically, you were able to get the Reddit Scouter to 99, right? Day 1. And that's because you would have a lot of rare medals, because I've been playing the game for years. That's on me. I was playing the game day 1, so I should be able to use my resources. I collect them. But there's not anything to do with the rare medals anyways, because they don't drop content. And now if you have a lot, well, you can't unlimited spam it so you can get it to 99. You have to go 2 times a day refreshing. So it should take you about over a month, assuming you're even lucky, to get any supporter to 99 if they're free to play. And that's so you can keep up with the newer players, even though I shouldn't be punished because I'm an OG player. It's the dumbest thing ever. But Ricochet, you're cooking here, bro. You're cooking here, bro. You know, bro, like, they're actually making terrible decisions. Like, this is just a dumb decision. I don't know who greenlighted this in the developer's office. I'm sure it doesn't affect them anyhow, because rare medals are something you have to grind in every sense. But hey, man, I just gotta leave it, man. This doesn't do anything for anybody but inconvenience us. It doesn't benefit them either. Small man Kaz here. Okay, for me personally, I'm liking it. People hate on the character choices, but for me, it is acceptable. And it's not me saying I accept mediocrity. I'm just saying I like Gogeta and Janemba unlike some others. I hope part 2 will be much better content wise than part 1. I think this is a big thing to note, right? A lot of celebrations will be dictated about the characters, and it doesn't matter what they have mechanics wise or aesthetics wise. If you don't like the characters, you're gonna feel it's a bad celebration. Does that make it an overall bad celebration? No, because you're not really objectively assessing it. You're just feeling your emotions in regards to whatever they dropped, and you're going off that. So in this case, he likes Gogeta and Janemba, which is good. I like Gogeta. I really do like Janemba as well. But would I normally care about Janemba? No. So for me, I feel like if I normally wouldn't care and it still looks good, that's valid. I feel as Dragon Ball fans, most of us should like everything. But obviously, clearly, people don't like everything. So it is what it is. Some things are going to be more hype than others, some things are not. So I think as long as you like the units, you will kind of somehow enjoy the celebration. Also, as long as you get the units. But yeah, hopefully part 2 can be better content wise. It's not even the unit releases at this point. It's just what can we do in Dragon Ball Legends that we haven't already done. Unread Curve 9. This part 1 is an 8.5 out of 10 because I think fusing Super Gogeta and the new summon animation is peak. But I don't think Janemba is a good part 1 headliner. They also didn't bring out a new mechanic. I spoke about the mechanics numerous times. They need to actually do that to increase the bar. Regarding Janemba though, I haven't really addressed him as a part 1 headliner. I think he is one of those cases that's being brought up by the other unit. And I feel like when they do that, it's not bad, but it forces a unit that isn't necessarily popular to see like the spotlight, which they normally wouldn't. Calling them not popular isn't exactly accurate. It'd be like less popular. So everybody in Dragon Ball is quote unquote popular, you could say. They've done this a lot of times, and I think more time than not it's flopped when they go for a alright, you're not as hype, but we're gonna drop you alongside this guy because you can get the spotlight and shine brighter if you're on the same release as this guy. So, for example, we have 3rd anniversary Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Bang! That's a green light, everybody loves that. But then they also dropped CMZ. Now, it's not that CMZ isn't hype, but he's not as hype as Gogeta. And that should go without saying, like, it's a no-brainer. They've done that with other cases as well. So let's take the Festival 2024 only last year. Vegito Blue and Rose. Rose is very hype, but he was struggling behind when they've got Vegito Blue right there. The deuteragonist and the protagonist of the series, Goku and Vegeta fused into one. Like, we really need to process what they're dropping side by side. I think they should always hit with the idea of a super hype character from one place and a super hype character from other place, and we get 2 peaks in 1 point for the headliner. That way we can go in with a bang no matter what, and there's also variety with separate peaks, you know. But when they just have to bring up an antagonist and they try to do the theme things, it just feels like a monthly celebration, and I maybe think they should avoid that. So yeah, I'm kind of messing with this regarding Janemba. I can easily see people not liking him as a headliner, not necessarily as a character, as a headliner. I think I'm going to take this last one here because I unfortunately don't have a lot of time, but we got one here from Yoda. Positives: unit choices were good. Generally speaking, yes, decent theme. Unit animations were good. Yep, they cooked on that, I can agree. First week was great, 100%. I think going into the festival, it was a refresher based on the bad that we had pre-festival. And the negatives: 2 dry weeks. Honestly, real. UUI plat is not content. I disagree. It's just, you know, it could have been something else. I think if it was a Ultra Gogeta blue plat or a Ultra Vegito blue plat, it would make a lot more noise and people would be loving using him and they wouldn't complain because there's no passive gameplay because of the dodge mechanic. Fest 2025 Part 1, 7 out of 10. Would really like more content in these dry ass weeks. If we just look through most of these replies, it's literally just no content, man. PvP, unit releases, right? And that's assuming you get them. Summon animation, it is content, but we're not going to see it that often. I guess we do include it though. It does look good. But what are we actually going to consistently play? There isn't much, man. They're not doing a good job with that, and that's really the unfortunate side of this festival. We need more. As we progress through every single year, they're not looking to increase the bar, it seems. They're just keeping things at a plateau, and that's not enough for us. Everybody's voicing it. It's just like they're ignoring us, and maybe there's reasons for that. I would hope there is. They would have to communicate that though. They can't just leave us here in the dark. But I guess we just, you know, have to deal with it until we hopefully see a brighter period for Dragon Ball Legends. That is going to make the end of the video. Most of the replies were similar things, so I didn't feel like I needed to go through all of them. But like I said earlier, at the same time, I don't have a lot of time today, so I had to actually, you know, cut it short. I did 10. I usually try to go for 15 when I do any of these videos because you guys' opinion is important, so I try to put it out on my channel when I make these tweets, and I think it's a good way to actually get you guys involved as well. Overall, hopefully the festival does improve. This is only part 1. I will do more of this going through the festival. I think I'll do another one at the end though, so not for part 2, but we will see. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.